Puck time! Puck time! Puck time!
It's surprising someone.
I'm the Prez, and I will start the show, bald man. It's puck time. I think I said that a whole lot of times.
That's 3 times.
It's Wednesday. And I'm going to the Leaf game tonight in Buffalo with the bald guy. He's taking me, except I'm the one driving. We got so much to talk about. I'm super pumped today. We got Carmine Bianco with us, a Juventus fan in his black shirt. What does that say, Carm? What does that say?
It's one of those camo shirts.
Oh. And Alex Badass Smith. Boys, we got 4 games on tap. We're going to start by talking about winners and losers. Alex, you had a 5% play last night on the Penguins. And my God, dude, a late minute goal, and then they lose in overtime. Lament.
Well, here's the thing. It's Peter Mrazek was the story of the game. I mean, he made some incredible saves. He stood on his head, and props to him. He kept Carolina in that game. Like I said, tied it up with a minute left in regulation, and, of course, goes into a shootout. Sidney Crosby tries to make a fancy move. It would have been a highlight reel goal, except he doesn't get the puck off of his stick. Dougie Hamilton's the only guy who scores in the shootout. Canes win 3-2. I lose my 5-star play. Shit happens.
It does.
That's the only thing I can say about it.
Listen, I watched that game last night. I watched the third period, and anyone who watched that third period who didn't think that Pittsburgh would win was watching a completely different game. They were just absolutely all over Carolina in that third period. Mrazek, especially, he made one at like the 10-minute mark where it was just an unbelievable save. I thought at that point Pittsburgh would have put Pittsburgh up 2-1 at that point. I guess 2-1.
Penguins could have been up. They could have been up 3-0 in the first period. And the way that they were buzzing around Carolina's net, and like I said, it was just Mrazek all night, just making big save after big save. So that's the Mrazek they're going to need moving forward as well if they're going to want to make it into the playoffs and make a deep run. And man, would it be awesome to see Pittsburgh Carolina in a playoff series?
Yeah.
Carmine, 5% play on Washington -1.5 last night.
Yeah, guy. Listen, I thought it was a good spot for them. It was a game sandwiched in between two with Tampa. They looked absolutely brutal in the first period in Tampa, losing that game 6-3, allowing 3 goals on 16 shots. I just knew they were going to bounce back. They gave Holtby the night off, but Copley, I think, had won like 5 straight. Holtby's in net tonight. I know it's a back-to-back, so they rested him last night, but it's a must-win. They're literally playing. They're in that battle with the Islanders, with Pittsburgh for that number 2 seed. That number 2 seed is so important. Finishing top in that division.
It's the difference between playing Pittsburgh or Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously we'll talk about Washington later on. But yeah, it was good to get one of those 5%ers into the win column, and we'll just keep moving forward.
So how did I do last night?
Yes, you. I believe you swept the board, 5-0.
Nice.
I had the under in Detroit, the under in Pittsburgh, the under in Montreal, the under in the Leaf game, and Calgary, 5-0, but I didn't parlay them.
No, of course.
Listen, you should put at least a little something on the side on the parlay.
Alex, I have not done a parlay bet in maybe 15 years.
Really? Not even just to like kind of even your account number out, just like a $10. Like
nope.
I always do that. It's like a superstition thing to me. If it's like 703 left to make it a dead even number, I'll put that 703 on like the 3 games that I bet that night or something.
Yeah,
that as well too. It's almost like an OCD thing. I need a couple zeros or 3
haven't
zeros.
Done a parlay in at least a decade. But I went 5-0 last night. I'm on a 9-2 hockey run. I have 1 play up tonight, and it's not on the Leaf game. What's your card looking like, Alex?
I have 1 play at the total tonight, and it's already up at sportsmemo.com.
And Bald Man?
Yeah, Baldman's got a couple plays up at WagerTalk, one side, one total. Who knows? We might all be on the same thing there. But anyways, yeah, 2 plays up. Maybe we'll put a promo up for that one as well too.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Too late.
Yeah. No promos today. Let's get to it, boys. We'll start with you, Alex B. Buffalo 31-32 on the season, facing the Leafs, who are in a tailspin. They've lost their last 2 games, 4 of their last 5. They put up a 0 last night against Nashville, and like we spoke about yesterday, tough scheduling for the Leafs. Nashville last night, the game actually even started late. I don't know when they hopped on the airplane, but the Leafs had to fly from Nashville to Buffalo. They're playing the Sabres tonight. The Sabres won their last game in a shootout against St. Louis, but have lost 7 of their last 8 hockey games. Toronto's minus 150 on the road, minus 1.5 plus 155. The over and under here is 6.5. And the bottom line from my perspective is, I want to play the over in this game. It begs the over in this game, except Buffalo didn't score 1 goal against Colorado, Dallas, or Pittsburgh. As they say in cricket, ducks across the board. And the Leafs are on a back-to-back. They've got to be tired. I think the over is going to be tough, but I can't play the under. These are 2 fast-paced teams. If anything, it's minus 1.5 plus 155 for the Leafs on a blowout, turning their streak around. Alex, what do you think?
I mean, it's an interesting, matchup when you look here because you got the last 4 meetings, the Leafs have won quite handily. But you look at the record of Buffalo playing Toronto at home. Buffalo has won 19 of the last 25 meetings at home against the Leafs. So, like I said, this is a hard scheduling spot for the Leafs here, and a team that's lost 4 of their last 5. So, my gut lean would be with Buffalo, but there's no way I can really back Buffalo the way, like I said, that we've seen their scoring completely dry up at times. And we know Toronto. The main focus of Toronto is at this point has to be just getting things sharpened for the playoffs, especially on the defensive end. We know they can score at any given moment. The thing is just keeping things level and balanced defensively. You said, the over has gone over 8 of the last 9 meetings. For Buffalo, 8 of the last 12 games have gone over, so that's significant as well. The fact that you mentioned 3 games in which they were shut out. And they still had 8 of their last 12 go over. It means that they're giving up some goals as well. So it's a really tough spot. I'm not going to be touching anything side or total. If I had to play this game here, it would be with Buffalo.
He's Alex B. Smith. Alex, I'm going to the Buffalo game with Carm. And I don't know if you know this, but Carm is actually a Buffalo fan. I got
okay. All right.
Carm, what do you like in this game?
Yeah. As a quick aside, we're going to the game. My brother is he rented a suite and he's taking 18 people to the game, fully catered, open bar, the whole bit. So Lawrence doesn't drink, so it's pretty good. Anyways, it's better for me because that's why he's driving. But 17 Leaf fans and myself. I'm fine. I'll be wearing my Gilbert Perreault shirt, jersey. I'll be fine. And like Rick Jenneret says, La 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 Fontaine. And the Prez is going to be so pissed when we're going home and it was like a 5-3 Sabres win tonight or something.
I won't even care, dude. The Leafs are locked into their damn spot. Have your stinking win.
Listen, here's the thing is, the Sabres lost 8 of their past 10, 15 of their past 20. All 3 games between these teams have gone over the total this year. They're averaging, I think, 7.33 goals per game in those 3 games. But the thing is about the Sabres, and it's not because I'm a Sabres fan, but much like, when the Leafs are playing Ottawa, when you're playing a heated rival in that spoiler role, you do whatever you can to beat them. Ottawa traded away their 3 best forwards, but they still put 6 up on the Leafs in Ottawa last week. This is one of those things. The Leafs are coming off a game last night. Sparks is likely in net tonight. I'm pretty sure he's in net tonight. Anderson played last night. And I'm not saying the Sabres are going to win, but they are going to give the Leafs a game. Sabres aren't going out there to play a 2-1, 3-2 type of game. I think we see scoring tonight. I think this goes over the total.
It might be the last meaningful game of the year for Buffalo, possibly. Yeah. Just playing a rival. So, yeah, it's something you have to look at.
Oh, shame. Lightning versus the Capitals. Carm, we'll start with you. Caps are plus 110 at home. There's many people in the league, including Bob the Witch McKenzie. I call him the Witch because if you've seen him, you would understand that nobody in the world could play a female witch better than Bob McKenzie. Bob McKenzie thinks Washington is as good as Tampa Bay. They're plus 110 at home. I'm not even going to go through the Tampa Bay records. I mean, they've won 5 in a row, 800 out of the last 810. Washington has been zigzagging their last 6 games, but they're on a roll, guys. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. They lost in Tampa Bay 6-3, as Alex mentioned earlier. The over and under here is 6.5. And the bottom line for me, guys, is I think this might be a good spot for Washington. I lean on Washington on the money line at plus 110. Carm?
Yeah, I agree with you. Listen, second meeting in 5 days. Like I said earlier, that first meeting, 6-3 in Tampa. Washington looked completely unraveled in that first period. 3 goals on 16 shots they allowed. They bounced back with a good effort. I tend to sometimes lean away from a team on the second half of a back-to-back, but I actually think it's a good spot for Washington right now. It's a meaningful game for them. They need the win. Holtby rested last night. And listen, Tampa clinched with that 4-1 win a couple days ago. They clinched the President's Trophy. A little bit of partying. I'm not saying they went wild, but it's one of those things where from now on till the end of until we hit the playoffs, there might be some flat spots. The intensity level might not be there for this Tampa team. You don't want to get in front of the best team in the NHL and say it could be a flat spot. It's sometimes that runaway train just doesn't stop. But I lean to Washington. You're getting plus money at home, and I know it's against the best team in the NHL, but it's a meaningful game for them. And I'd take I've got it like plus 122 right now.
Alex Badass Smith. Over, under, which side? What do you like?
I'm looking at the Capitals here. It's not like the Caps had to, extend a bunch of energy last night beating New Jersey. I mean, they pretty much just had to they can go through a practice formation and beat New Jersey right now. So I'm sure that
it would have been really cool if they did the flying V.
That would have, yeah. You'd be offside, isn't there? There's a way you got to pass the puck a certain way to not be offside with the flying V.
I don't know. We tried the flying V last night in our game.
How did that go?
Well, we played in the quarterfinals. We won 5-2.
Nice.
Oh my God, it was so trippy. The other team was like sticking and hooking and slashing, and I got so freaking mad. It's like there's 3 minutes left in the game. We're up 5-1. I look up. I play D. I look up, and this guy is 1-on-1 against me from center ice, and I notice that he's the smallest fucker on their team. I'm like, I think we can afford a penalty. Dude comes to me. Normally I back up, and then make my move around the hash marks. Nope, this time I back up. Get to the blue line, and I take my knee. I let him come around. He goes this way. I take my knee. I went, bam! Dude went flying. Their entire team, who was bigger than me, started screaming and yelling. And I didn't wait for the refs. I literally hightailed it to the penalty box.
Nicely done, sir.
To prevent a brawl. But anyway, Alex. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah, so I'm going Capitals. Like I said, I feel obviously they have way more to play for right now than Tampa. They're trying to, like I said, lock up that Metropolitan Division. Tampa's got everything locked up. They can just make sure no one gets hurt. So plus price here. I think the motivation, everything sides with Washington here.
Alex, let's start with you. Ottawa, they've won their last 2 games in a row. So has Vancouver. And look, Vancouver's making a late run. They're 6 points out. With 9 games to go, it's almost impossible. They've got too many teams to leapfrog, but don't tell them that. They think they're still in the hunt. Ottawa, they're 2 games back from they're 2 points back from the second worst spot in hockey. So they're in the last position by 2 points. Vancouver, they just beat Chicago in overtime and Dallas in overtime, both on the road, although boy, did Dallas ever get lucky in that game, but that's a whole different story. Minus 185 for the Canucks. The over and under is 6. That's too high. I like the Canucks in regulation, and I like under the total. Tell us what you'd like.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, Vancouver, you only land $1.20, $1.25 in regulation here, and like I said, Vancouver has still got a puncher's chance of making a climb if they can get on a hot run. While Ottawa, they really need to just start losing the rest of these games now and try and position themselves for a better spot in the draft and the lottery, which is coming up. That'll be the same night as the playoffs start, April 10th. So they can get themselves in that position right now with a loss here. No reason to try and screw that up. Like I said, Vancouver, just play the string out, play well in front of your home fans, won 3 of the last 4. I can see that continuing. They've won 14 of the last 21 meetings against Ottawa as well. So I like Vancouver in regulation as well.
Carm, 15 seconds or less.
Yeah, I agree with the Vancouver regulation time or less. I don't want to lay $1.80 with these teams, but listen, this is the start of a 7-game road trip. Listen. 7 games. Sorry, it's the start of a 7
I think Alex enjoys when you're on this show.
Listen, it's a start. It's the start of a 7-game homestand for Vancouver, and then they close out on the road against Nashville and San Jose. This is so big. They got winnable games: Anaheim, Dallas, Los Angeles. I know the next 3 up. Okay, Ottawa tonight. Then it's Calgary and Columbus. If they can even take one of those 2 games there, they've got a chance. But when you have to leapfrog so many teams, but if those teams are doing nothing, you've got a chance to leapfrog them. I just don't like the fact that they close out their season with San Jose at home, and then they go to Nashville.
Yeah,
and
but it might not matter, dude. I mean, San Jose is locked in. Nashville might be locked in. They might get to play the scrubs. Last game, boys. Carm, we go to you. The Winnipeg Jets against Anaheim. It's amazing because although Anaheim is completely out of it, they are only 9 points out of wildcard position. Now, obviously, they can't get that. But when you think about what we've seen with Anaheim this year, you would think they were 400 points out of the wildcard position. But they're playing really good of late. They beat Florida. They beat Colorado. They've won 3 of their last 4. They've won 4 of their last 6. And they are scoring, finally. Winnipeg's on a 3-game win streak. The Jets are minus 155. The over and under here is 6. The Jets at minus 1.5 plus 190 is interesting to me as well. I think if the Jets do win this game, I think they're going to win by more than 2. What do you think, Bald Man?
Yeah, listen,
I'm listening, dude. Alex is listening. I'm listening. The listeners are listening.
All right. Yeah, listen. Anyways, I know the Ducks have won a couple straight, but you've got to go back to like early December where they've won 3 in a row. There's a reason why that is.
Tell
they're
us,
not
Carm.
a terrible team, but they've just been playing bad. They're just not winning. The Jets play tomorrow in Vegas, and usually you would say that's a look-ahead game, but they're not going to take Anaheim lightly tonight. They're going to go out there. They're going to try and get this 2 tonight. I actually think tomorrow is a spot where they could be looking ahead, turn home to play. That Nashville game for Winnipeg is more important than the Vegas game tomorrow, which is why tonight's game, by association, I know it's a little confusing, is an important 2 points for this Winnipeg team. I agree with you. If you like that plus money, you can lay the goal and a half. I've got like Winnipeg at minus 140. I think laying 140 is a good spot here for them. And then I might likely fade them tomorrow against the Golden Knights, just because they're looking ahead to going back home. and playing Nashville. That Nashville game is a huge one.
Alex?
Yep.
What do you like in this game?
No, yeah, Carm, you nailed it with the scheduling dynamic there. Like I said, the only thing that had concerned me in this game is what happened the last time these two met February 2nd. Winnipeg goes out, scores 6 in the first period. They end up winning 9-3. They give Anaheim the worst loss in franchise history. If there's any kind of a revenge spot, I mean, hell, Anaheim has a revenge spot against the whole damn league the way they played all year. But if there's one they have probably circled, it might be this one. They definitely don't want to get off to that bad of a start here. I like the over in this one. I think we see some goals here scored both ways. Like I said, in Winnipeg, we know they can put up 5-6 on their own. So you're only getting a 6 here, and you're not laying a heck of a whole lot. Actually getting plus money. You can find over 6 plus 105. So I like the over here. I think we're going to see a higher scoring affair between these two.
Boys, you inspired me. While you were talking, I just made my first parlay in 15 years.
Nice. What's the parlay?
I took Toronto -1.5, Vancouver -1.5, Winnipeg -1.5. $100 pays $2,060.
Nice. There you go.
Wow.
Shut up, Carm. I got to put up with you in a car for the next 2 hours.
$100 pays nothing.
We're out. Guys, make sure to watch Morning Joe and the Pro with me and Drew Martin. Tomorrow is me and Tony as well. Either Carmine or Dave Koken with me and Alex on PuckTime. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll speak to you all later. Be well, guys.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy the games.
Thanks, man.
Ciao.
Good luck.